Hello everybody, welcome to the first day of ISE 2018. We're here in Amsterdam. With us today, Rich Ventura, Chairman of Digital Signage Federation and also the VP of Strategy for NEC Display Solutions.
Hey Adrian, how you doing?
Good to have you again to open up the show. You're the first guest today. Tell us a little bit about your new role, because it's changed since we last spoke to you. You're now a strategy man, not a business development man.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing, but a little more intense. My role is really focused on what is NEC 3 to 5 years out, and what are we doing? How do we develop platforms? And you'll hear me talk a lot about platforms. It's not, you've seen all these displays and everything we're doing. It's awesome, but it's what can we do that's so different that our competitors don't do? Looking at software development, looking at new technology development, and how do we strategically grow the organization to really differ from everyone else. And so there's a lot of stuff we're looking at with big data analytics and AI and anonymous analytics and tying in beacons, and then even going further and further beyond that is how do we do things more as a service instead of it always being a commoditized focus.
Cool, so that's quite fun. And also this is unprecedented, you're second year president of the Digital Signage Federation.
Yeah, it was something that was decided by the board last summer during a board meeting that is for continuity. We have so much going on. I mean, this organization, and you talk to the Ken Goldbergs and the Phil Cohens of the world who were part of it at the beginning. The organization is so different than when we started this 10 years ago now. We started this as an organization that was like-minded individuals in the industry. We're talking, doing things, and now it's really we're driving strategy for the industry. In fact, one of the things that we're doing, which I'm so excited about, is we've actually found a way to get DSF, OAAA, Geopath, IAB, and even the DPAA together, and we're building industry standards. That is unprecedented. I mean, you've always had where associations will kind of work together.
Right.
We're actually working together and we're building out industry standards, which is going to be so important for out of home and for traditional digital signage and for media. It's going to be really exciting this year.
Give us some of the, you were very successful last year. There's a couple of things, every time a chairman comes in, there's 2 or 3 things that they want to achieve. Tell us what you think you achieved in 2017.
So we have our legacies, and
that's what the legacies.
Yep, the legacies, and for the chairs, the big thing on the legacies is how do we support the previous legacies and how do we grow beyond? And the focus that I really looked at last year was the Digital Out of Home Council. And creating that global entity that really represents all facets of out of home, and that organization is just massively growing. I think we're up to, on the council, I believe we have 17 people, and that's US, Europe, Canada, and Latin America. So that was number one. The other one that I thought was really important is how do we communicate to a wider part of our constituency? So it's getting integrators more involved, it's getting the content creation people more involved, and even the consultants. We've seen a dramatic increase of membership from consultants.
I've seen quite a few big consultants join.
Which is really exciting, because they always kind of sat back and go, I don't know. The other thing that I think that's come out of this too is we've really diversified the organization, which I'm really excited about. You hear a lot about the women of AV, women of digital signage. You look at the board that we have today. When I started on the board, we really had 1, maybe 2 women on the board. Today, we have 4, and it's going to continue to grow. And I'm really excited that we're diversifying the board. We're getting more membership, or more people on the board that are integrators. We have a couple consultants on the board this year. That was a big thing I wanted to get done last year, is really how do we diversify and grow the board.
And what about, you've talked before about growing it geographically, looking at Latin America and elsewhere. How's that coming along?
Excellent. There's going to be some announcements we're going to be making between now and DSC.
Okay.
We're really excited about the direction. We're strengthening and working very closely with the European team. There's a lot of things that are going on this week with the European team that we're pretty excited about seeing come out. But we're even looking at how do we do events, working with Expo Nation. So there's stuff that we're working. We're actually going to do an event in Latin America, and then I know we're going to do a couple events in London this year.
Right, brilliant. You must have come to ISE now probably 10, 11, 12, maybe you're a 15-year veteran of the show.
Not yet. This is like my 7th now.
7th one. What's the thing that you think you might see today that will interest you?
It's always interesting. Someone was asking me the other day, why do you go to ISE? And they're saying, especially now because you're injured, why are you going to ISE? And I go, this sets a tone for the entire year.
Right.
and just seeing, I look at what our competitors are doing, but I'm also looking at what is coming out there in the markets. A big thing that we're looking at with DSE, and then we look at with Infocom, is how do we start looking at emerging technologies? How do we bring a lot of the market? And that's a big part of what my team does, right? And so I spent a lot of time looking at the really small booths, and actually it was funny, I was coming in this morning and I saw a Ukrainian LED company.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, there's a Ukrainian LED company. Okay, what are they doing? So I checked it out, and then next to them was a speaker company, and I actually spent more time with the speaker company because they made flat speakers that attach with regular wall mounts.
Okay.
And I'm going, okay, that makes sense, right?
Is there a specific area at ISE for startups or incubated companies? Or?
Not yet. I mean, they're kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
I know they have this new temporary hall, which none of us knew was going to be here. We see a lot of them in there. We see a lot of them over in the digital signage area, and then kind of in between. There's actually a hall going over to the digital signage area. You see a bunch of little startups. But then there's also this whole collaboration area. That's where we found, a couple years ago, we found one of our partners who we work with for cameras, does this amazing job with cameras. Right. We're finding that type of stuff in those areas.
Yeah. There's some great stuff on the ISE stand as well, on the NEC stand, the Hudley stuff and things, which is pretty new and innovative, and the Infinity board, which is now an announced product, I think, and a few other stuff. So it's coming along in terms of NEC becoming a proper solutions company, do you think?
It is, and I mean, and even just to echo it even further was our announcement this week. I mean, the acquisition of the Escuadra app.
Right.
That's showing how much we are focused on being a complete solutions organization for displays. That's a very big announcement for us to make, and I know you're going to be talking with Bern and everyone else later, but it's showing how much we're dedicated to going beyond, as I tell everybody, it's beyond the screen conversations, and that's really important that we do more than just talk about a screen.
Okay. To finish up then, last question, you said there might be some announcements between now and DSE about DSF being more global or doing some geographical stuff. Is there one big thing that you want to announce or talk about for DSE? You always do a couple of big conferences at DSE.
Yeah, we do. So we have the Digital Out-of-Home Strategy Summit, which is on Tuesday.
The day before,
and we're really excited about that. We have just an amazing lineup of speakers. I've got a lot of new speakers. I know last year you participated in it. We have a lot of new speakers.
You've got a special session yourself as well, haven't you? You're doing...
Yeah, I've got a couple that I'll be doing during DSE. Right. So I'm doing one on ROI measurement, and I'm also doing one about analytics and facial recognition detection platforms. And then they're going to see, we've also got the DSF as a whole. We're running the education now for the retail. Right. Laura Davis Taylor's running that. And then I think close to 35 to 40% of all of the speakers at DSE are DSF members. That's up. Last year it was like 20. So we're continuing to grow that.
Good. Rich, thank you very much indeed.
Oh, thank you.